The economy was very unstable at the time the current government took over.
Decline in GDP growth, an increase in macroeconomic instability, high fiscal deficit, and having problems as far as the government meeting its obligations.
The country had lost quite a bit of sort of policy credibility.
So we were an economy in a considerable state of distress.
Some of the vulnerabilities within the economy, high interest rates, high inflation, did impact negatively on corporates.
High inflation, high debts translates itself into an ever deteriorating exchange rate. And when you have that kind of situation, running a business is difficult.
Some of us believed if we didn't do something quickly about that, in the middle of 2017, the government will run out and not be able to pay salaries.
Clearly, business as usual was going to land Ghana in very deep crisis.
Ghana is a developing country and we still have weak institutions. Our elections are such that sometimes the government feels under great pressure to spend, to sort of win over the electorate.
All the major competitive elections, we tend to overspend.
And this results in wide fiscal deficits.
So when you look at it from 1992 to 2016, the major election comes and then we destroy the fundamentals of the economy.
We do things that are unbudgeted in the name of political expediency at the expense of other critical investments.
It comes at a cost to the country, it comes at a cost to citizens, it comes at a cost to the private sector.
Macrostability is like fresh air. You'd really value it when it disappears and you see all these costs.
I am happy the IMF is coming back, but I'm very disappointed because anytime I see the IMF, I see our failure as a people.
One of the advantages of being on the program is the discipline in the economic management that you subject yourself to first.
The fund was very flexible actually in helping us to proceed with the program.
The IMF was key in terms of the public financial management framework.
That law, I believe, would not have been possible without the fund, because it required a lot of engagement. The knowledge and the expertise was very useful to us.
What is clear about the PFM Act is that it changed the reporting framework.
This was a big jump to a more holistic legal framework for managing public funds.
These days, when we go to the field, people take us very serious because they know that the game has changed.
We had quite a huge chunk of the debt in short-term domestic instruments.
That was a significant pressure on government.
So we came up with a major policy of liability management, which was christened reprofiling.
We were able to extend the yield curve from 10 to 15 years and to 30 years. And the pricing was very, very competitive.
And that really helped reduce to a significant level the risks identified in the domestic debt portfolio.
So the profiling of debt itself is important. And I think this government has done a very good job with that.
The ultimate goal in regulating the financial market is to generate trust. So it didn't come to me as a surprise, actually, in 2017 when government decided to take the bold decision to sanitize the system.
The asset quality review, it has yielded a lot of positives.
We started first with two banks, the UT and Capital Bank, because the level of insolvency was so deep.
The management and oversight was very lax, and it basically led to a real governance issue.
Closing a bank, obviously, it's a very difficult and serious decision.
The cleanup is ongoing in a bid to ensure that the banks can be self-sufficient.
we realized that all the macroeconomic indicators were pointing in the right direction. Inflation was coming down, interest rates were coming down. The data showed evidence that we were getting back on track.
We've made considerable progress. We've seen fiscal discipline taking root.
The stability the IMF program brought was important for us in order to be able to plan.
We have made progress, but a lot of work lies ahead.
The biggest risk going forward is our 4-year election cycle.
My fear and my concern has to do with the next election. If we are able to keep to the fiscal discipline, even as we go into the 2020 election, it will be very important for us.
The current arrangement with the IMF has brought a lot of positives.
Behind the entire program was a very, very solid technical assistance.
We've benefited, I think, a lot from that collaboration.
Ensuring that a country sustains its macroeconomic stability is very key, and we hope that Ghana continues to do this.